An absolute financial bloodbath just erupted in the middle of the night, and the entire entertainment world is currently standing in complete, paralyzed shock. We thought we had seen every possible level of celebrity petty drama, but what just went down between rap titan Rick Ross and boxing royalty Floyd Mayweather has officially shattered the internet into a million pieces. For over 2 decades, Floyd Mayweather built an untouchable, invincible myth around his name, a bulletproof empire made of $100 million cashier's checks, unreleased Bugattis, and endless ocean vaults filled with liquid cash. But in a brutal, surgical 12-minute live stream that just broke social media metrics, Rick Ross didn't just question Floyd's wealth. He brought out certified, stamped, government-level financial receipts that systematically tore Floyd's entire life story to shreds. We are talking bank audits, hidden tax liens, leveraged deed foreclosures, and leaked private messages that prove Mayweather's ultra-wealthy persona might actually be one massive, desperate, multi-million-dollar optical illusion. Floyd is reportedly in an absolute state of blind panic right now, calling emergency legal teams as his private empire crumbles in real time. Stay right where you are, because what Ross revealed at the 8-minute mark changes everything you thought you knew about Money Mayweather forever. To truly grasp the apocalyptic scale of this fallout, you have to rewind the clock and understand the deep, venomous history between these two massive titans. This isn't just a sudden disagreement over social media posts. This is the explosive culmination of a 15-year Cold War that has been quietly festering in the dark underbelly of Miami and Las Vegas. On one side, you have Floyd "Money" Mayweather, a man who literally rebranded his entire existence around the concept of unlimited, unquantifiable wealth. After stepping away from professional boxing with an undisputed 50-0 record, Floyd didn't just settle into retirement. He weaponized his money. He made it a point to flaunt stacks of cash on private jets, host late-night flexes showing off $18 million watches, and routinely mock anyone in the hip-hop industry who didn't possess his level of raw liquidity. Floyd's entire psychological leverage over the culture relies on one single, non-negotiable principle. No matter how successful you are, Floyd Mayweather is richer than you. On the other side stands the biggest boss himself, Rick Ross. Ross didn't just build a rap empire with Maybach Music Group, he built a real-world corporate fortress. From owning dozens of lucrative Wingstop and Checkers franchises to acquiring the legendary 300-acre Promised Land estate in Georgia, Ross has consistently projected the image of a savvy, generational business strategist. Ross is a man who operates in silence, studying balance sheets, acquiring appreciating land, and building assets that generate revenue while he sleeps. For years, these two juggernauts maintained a cold, uneasy truce. They crossed paths at high-stakes VIP clubs in South Beach, sat ringside at mega fights, and occasionally traded subtle, veiled jabs in podcast interviews. But beneath the polite nods and surface-level respect lay a bitter ideological rivalry. Floyd viewed Ross as a music executive playing dress-up as a billionaire, while Ross viewed Floyd as an uneducated athlete spending his way toward eventual bankruptcy while mistaking gross earnings for net profit. The tension reached a dangerous boiling point when Floyd aligned himself closely with 50 Cent during the height of 50's infamous Scorched Earth campaign against Ross. Floyd routinely opened his Sin City mansions to Ross's biggest enemies, whispering corporate secrets and feeding ammunition to anyone willing to tear down the MMG brand. Ross never forgot that betrayal. He played the long game, quietly biding his time, gathering intelligence, and waiting for the exact moment when Floyd's armor would show its very first crack. And that crack finally appeared when Floyd began embarking on a series of bizarre, highly criticized exhibition fights overseas. Fans began whispering, "Why is a supposed billionaire traveling to foreign countries to box YouTube influencers and retired kickboxers in front of half-empty arenas?" The public narrative began to shift, but Floyd kept doubling down, insisting these exhibitions were just quick $30 million bank robberies that he did out of pure boredom. The stage was set, the hatred was deep, and the atmosphere was thick with toxicity. The entire culture was sitting on a ticking time bomb, just waiting for a single spark to detonate a war that would permanently ruin one of these icons. And late last night, that spark wasn't just lit, it was hit with a nuclear strike that no one saw coming. The nightmare officially began at precisely 2:14 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Floyd Mayweather went live on Instagram from his private compound in Las Vegas, sitting in front of a glass table literally covered in stacks of $100 bills. But Floyd wasn't just flexing. He was visibly agitated, slurring his words, and firing direct, unprovoked shots at music industry executives, specifically targeting Rick Ross. "You guys talk about boss talk," Floyd sneered into the camera, waving a diamond-encrusted chain toward the screen. "You talk about owning land, but you're taking out loans to keep the lights on. I hold the cash. I own the city. None of you rap guys can show me $50 million liquid right now if your life depended on it. You're living on borrowed time and borrowed credit." The video went instantly viral, accumulating over 400,000 live viewers within minutes. It was supposed to be just another classic Floyd flex, another moment where the boxing legend asserted his dominant position over the entertainment world. But Floyd made a fatal error. He tagged Rick Ross directly in the caption, writing, "Tell the fake boss to show his bank account or sit down." The internet held its collective breath. For almost 3 hours, there was dead silence from Ross's camp. Fans thought Ross was going to ignore it, that he was going to take the high road and let Floyd's late-night rant fade away into the news cycle. Then, at 5 a.m. sharp, the bomb dropped. Rick Ross didn't just post a simple response. He went live from his private study at the Promised Land, sitting behind an oak desk illuminated by a single lamp. He wasn't yelling. He wasn't angry. He was wearing a silk robe, sipping tea, and holding a thick, black leather-bound binder labeled the Mayweather Audit. "Floyd," Ross began, his voice dripping with terrifying, ice-cold calm. "You spoke my name while you were sitting behind a pile of cash that you rented for a promotional shoot. You asked for proof? I brought the government's proof." What followed was 12 minutes of pure, unadulterated execution. Ross didn't throw insults. He opened the binder and began holding up certified court documents, forensic accounting reports, and official county recorder filings directly to the camera. First, Ross exposed the truth behind Floyd's prized Las Vegas mansions. Ross produced public title search documents showing that 3 of Floyd's primary residential properties are actually heavily leveraged under complex, high-interest mezzanine loans with private equity firms. "You don't own these homes, Floyd," Ross revealed, holding up a red-stamped deed disclosure. "You're paying an 11% interest rate to a private lender just to keep your name on the front gate. You are one missed exhibition payment away from a notice of default." The live chat exploded into pure chaos. Millions of comments flooded the screen as Ross flipped to the next page, revealing a leaked, internal audit from a recent overseas exhibition fight promotion. The document showed that Floyd's reported $25 million purse for his last exhibition was actually capped at less than $2.1 million after venue fees, production debts, and international tax withholdings were calculated. "You're flying across the world on commercial charters because your jet is currently grounded in a hangar in Atlanta over an unpaid $400,000 engine overhaul debt," Ross said, leaning into the microphone with a terrifying smile. "You are broke, Floyd. Not poor people broke. You are billionaire debt broke. You are running on a hamster wheel of fake wealth, taking out loans to pay off the interest on old loans." To make matters infinitely worse, Ross then held up a series of leaked text messages allegedly sent from Floyd's primary financial manager to a high-profile Hollywood talent agent. The messages, dated just 3 weeks ago, explicitly showed Floyd's team begging for emergency celebrity brand sponsorships, stating in plain text, "Floyd needs $5 million liquid before the end of the quarter to satisfy an IRS installment agreement," or "they are placing a levy on his commercial real estate portfolio." The entire internet shattered. The narrative that Floyd Mayweather was an untouchable financial genius was completely disintegrated in a matter of seconds. People were screenshotting the receipts, zooming in on the signatures, and verifying the public record filing numbers in real time. Floyd's team went into an immediate, catastrophic tailspin. Sources close to the boxer report that Floyd was watching the live stream from his kitchen, and upon seeing his private tax documents and loan agreements broadcast to millions of people, he literally threw his phone against the wall, shattering a floor-to-ceiling glass panel. Panic erupted inside Floyd's inner circle. Emergency calls were made to his legal team. Demands were issued to Instagram to have the stream taken down for copyright and privacy violations, and frantic security personnel were seen rushing in and out of Floyd's Las Vegas compound. Just as the world was trying to process the magnitude of this utter humiliation, an even more sinister detail emerged. A prominent entertainment attorney jumped onto X, formerly Twitter, and pointed out a tiny, terrifying detail on the bottom right corner of the leaked IRS documents Ross held up. A detail that proved Ross didn't just get these documents from a public record search. The documents contained an internal, encrypted watermark that could only belong to one specific person: Floyd Mayweather's closest, most trusted personal accountant. The realization that Rick Ross had an active mole inside Floyd Mayweather's absolute innermost circle sent structural shockwaves through the entire sports and entertainment industries. This wasn't just a surface-level public feud anymore. This was a deeply calculated, corporate espionage operation executed right under Floyd's nose. Within 2 hours of Ross's stream going offline, #MayweatherBroke and #The Mayweather Audit were trending at #1 and #2 globally on every single social media platform. The internet became an active crime scene of digital forensics. Financial creators on YouTube, high-profile tax attorneys, and investigative journalists began pulling the exact public filings Ross referenced, confirming that the county recorder numbers and loan document IDs held up on stream were 100% authentic and legally registered. Mainstream news outlets picked up the story immediately. Major sports channels interrupted their morning broadcasts to analyze the fallout, displaying side-by-side comparisons of Floyd's public claims versus the terrifying reality laid out in Ross's black binder. Then, at 9:30 a.m., the drama took a sharp, personal turn that pushed the conflict over the edge. A verified Twitter account belonging to a prominent Las Vegas real estate mogul posted a brutal, 14-tweet thread detailing how Floyd had allegedly been quietly trying to sell off his luxury car collection behind closed doors to private foreign buyers. Attached to the tweet were high-resolution photos of Floyd's iconic Bugattis and custom Rolls-Royces parked inside an unmarked warehouse, accompanied by private consignment contracts signed by Mayweather Promotions. The internet erupted into complete, unrestrained mockery. Memes depicting Floyd mowing his own lawn, standing in line at budget check-cashing stores, and begging for change outside luxury boutiques flooded every timeline. Celebrities couldn't hold back their reactions either. High-profile rappers posted cryptic emojis, sports icons left shocked comments under news posts, and famous internet personalities began breaking down the psychological destruction of the Money Mayweather brand. 50 Cent, Floyd's former best friend turned bitter rival, posted a ruthless video on Instagram, laughing hysterically into the camera while holding up a copy of a fake bankruptcy manual, captioning it, I told y'all the math wasn't matching." Ross pulled the curtain back on the wizard. Inside Mayweather's camp, total psychological warfare had broken out. Paranoia reached an all-time high as Floyd desperately tried to figure out who in his inner circle had betrayed him. According to leaked reports from staff inside the compound, Floyd ordered a complete lockdown of his headquarters. Personal assistants were forced to hand over their phones to private security guards, computer servers were wiped, and 2 longtime members of Floyd's management team were seen crying in the driveway after being summarily fired and escorted off the premises on suspicion of leaking the files to Ross. Floyd was trapped in a nightmare. If he stayed silent, the world would accept Ross's receipts as the absolute truth, permanently ending his legacy as the richest athlete in history. But if he responded, he risked opening himself up to even further financial scrutiny that could trigger actual formal investigations by state and federal tax authorities. Feeling cornered, desperate, and driven by pure rage, Floyd made a catastrophic decision. Instead of issuing a formal statement through his publicist, Floyd went on an unscripted, emergency radio interview at 11 a.m. His voice was shaking with fury. "Rick Ross is a liar." Floyd screamed into the microphone, his tone completely lacking its usual cocky confidence. "He's using doctored papers. He's using fake documents that his lawyers forged. I have more cash in my safe right now than his whole lineage will ever see." I'm going to personally put up $10 million cash right now to anyone who can prove I owe a single dollar to the government. It was supposed to be a powerful, defensive flex to regain control of the narrative. But Floyd's desperate $10 million challenge backfired immediately in the most horrifying way possible. Less than 20 minutes after Floyd made that live $10 million pledge, the official social media account of a major federal tax agency updated its public lien registry, officially listing a brand new, active corporate tax execution order against Mayweather Promotions for unpaid back taxes totaling over $8.4 million. The timing was so precise, so humiliating, that it felt like a scripted movie twist. Floyd had just pledged $10 million to prove he owed nothing, only for the official government registry to confirm his massive debt live on air. The radio host sat in stunned, uncomfortable silence. Floyd reportedly hung up the phone mid-broadcast, leaving the entire world listening to dead air. Just when it seemed like the humiliation couldn't possibly get any worse, Rick Ross posted a single, short video on his Instagram story. He was sitting on his balcony, holding a fresh cup of coffee, looking directly into the lens with a terrifyingly calm expression. "Floyd," Ross whispered, smiling faintly, "you just offered $10 million cash to anyone who can prove your debts. I suggest you keep that money, because in less than 2 hours, my team is releasing part 2 of the audit, and this time, we're showing the world where your boxing purses really went." The entire global media landscape exploded into absolute, unmitigated madness. The narrative had completely bypassed simple celebrity gossip and transformed into a historical pop culture event. The debate over Rick Ross's devastating expose divided the internet into two radically opposed, fiercely combative factions, unleashing a wave of toxic online warfare that hasn't been seen in years. #Team Ross declared absolute victory, hailing the MMG boss as a tactical genius who executed the greatest corporate takedown in hip-hop history. Fans flooded comment sections with praise, calling Ross the ultimate truth-teller, and creating viral video breakdowns analyzing how Ross used cold, hard documentation to destroy a 2-decade-long illusion. Financial content creators began using the situation as a case study on the dangers of performative wealth, pointing out that Ross's real estate holdings and business franchises had completely outmatched Floyd's liquid cash and exotic car strategy. On the other side, diehard #Team Mayweather loyalists launched a frantic, aggressive counteroffensive. They argued that Ross was engaging in dirty, illegal tactics by allegedly using stolen financial records to attack a retired sports legend. Floyd's supporters insisted that regardless of tax liens or private loans, Mayweather's career earnings of over $1 billion earned him the right to manage his finances however he saw fit. Floyd built his empire from nothing with his own 2 hands. One viral tweet read, "Ross is just jealous that Floyd's name will forever be bigger than Maybach music." The fight quickly spilled over into the sports and entertainment industries, with major figures feeling forced to take a side. Prominent boxing promoters issued tense, neutral statements, desperately trying to distance their upcoming events from the radioactive controversy surrounding Floyd's promotional company. Several high-profile brands that were currently negotiating endorsement deals with Mayweather reportedly paused all contract discussions, citing the sudden reputational risk and mounting legal uncertainty surrounding Floyd's financial standing. Podcast studios in Los Angeles, New York, and Atlanta scrambled to go live, dedicating emergency multi-hour streams to debate the fallout. Sports analysts openly questioned whether Floyd's exhibition fight career was officially over, arguing that no international promoter would pay millions for a Mayweather appearance now that the public believed his financial flexes were entirely fabricated. Mainstream news outlets began setting up camp outside Floyd's Las Vegas compound and Ross's Promised Land estate in Georgia, attempting to catch any glimpse of security teams or legal representatives moving between the properties. The atmosphere was thick with anxiety, tension, and absolute unpredictability. Meanwhile, social media metrics continued to break historical records. A single tweet aggregating Ross's live stream clips reached over 45 million impressions in less than 12 hours. Comment sections across Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok devolved into literal battlegrounds, with millions of users viciously arguing over who is the true boss of the culture. Every minute that passed without a formal, legally structured response from Floyd's team only added fuel to the raging fire. The silence from Sin City was deafening. Speculation began to run wild that Mayweather Promotions was preparing to file emergency court injunctions to prevent any further documents from being released to the public. The public was reaching a fever pitch, demanding answers, demanding proof, and hanging on every single notification, waiting to see if Floyd would somehow find a way to counterpunch, or if Rick Ross was about to drop the final hammer that would permanently seal Floyd's fate, just as the world was braced for Rick Ross to drop part 2 of the Mayweather audit. A sudden, shocking event occurred that completely flipped this entire war on its head and sent a terrifying chill through both camps. At exactly 4:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Rick Ross's official Instagram, YouTube, and X accounts suddenly went completely dark. Every single post, video, and story regarding Floyd Mayweather was abruptly scrubbed from his profile without a single word of explanation. For 30 excruciating minutes, the internet was paralyzed in pure confusion. Did Ross back down? Did Floyd's legal team secure a massive emergency gag order? Did the federal government step in to stop the release of sensitive tax documents? Then, an official, urgent press notification broke through major legal news wires that sent shockwaves directly through the industry. A federal court judge in Nevada had just signed a temporary, emergency cease and desist injunction, not filed by Floyd Mayweather, but filed by a mysterious third-party corporate entity registered in the Cayman Islands. According to the leaked court filing, this anonymous offshore corporation claims to be the actual, rightful legal owner of over 60% of Floyd Mayweather's brand intellectual property, fight royalties, and real estate assets. The filing officially alleges that Rick Ross's leak did not just expose Floyd, it exposed an ongoing, multi-billion-dollar international financial restructuring operation that involves some of the most powerful corporate figures in global entertainment. In simpler terms, Floyd Mayweather didn't just owe money to the IRS. Floyd had allegedly signed over the rights to his entire identity, his name, and his historical fight catalog to an elite offshore syndicate years ago in exchange for an immediate, massive cash bailout. And the most terrifying part? The legal documents explicitly state that if Part 2 of Ross's Black Binder is leaked to the public, it will trigger an immediate, mandatory liquidation of all assets associated with Mayweather Promotions, forcing the complete, public auction of Floyd's homes, cars, and trademark rights to satisfy underlying international debts. Floyd Mayweather isn't just fighting to save his reputation anymore. He is literally fighting to prevent his entire life's work from being seized and auctioned off on the steps of a federal courthouse. Sources close to Ross report that despite the emergency gag order, the MMG mogul was seen smiling as he exited a private airport terminal in Miami late this afternoon. When an investigative reporter rushed up to Ross and asked if he was terrified of the impending legal lawsuits from the Cayman Syndicate, Ross simply pulled down his sunglasses, looked directly into the camera, and dropped 4 chilling words. The vault is open. Ross didn't just expose a lie, he stumbled onto the biggest, most dangerous corporate secret in the history of modern sports entertainment. And rumor has it, Ross's legal team has already transferred the encrypted files from Part 2 to a secure, offshore cloud server programmed to auto-publish if any further legal action is taken against his brand. This isn't over. This isn't even close to being over. This is no longer just a petty beef between 2 famous icons. This is a high-stakes, multi-million-dollar war for survival, where one wrong move could land people in federal courtrooms or leave a global legend with absolutely nothing. We are watching history unfold in real time, and this situation is changing by the absolute minute. What do you think about this absolute insanity? Did Rick Ross go way too far by exposing Floyd Mayweather's private financial audits to the entire world? Or did Floyd bring this completely on himself by flexing fake money and poking the wrong mogul? And what about that explosive final twist? Do you believe Floyd Mayweather actually sold the rights to his legacy to an offshore syndicate? Or is there an even bigger secret hidden inside Part 2 of Ross's binder? I want to hear your raw, unfiltered thoughts. Drop a comment down below right now and join the massive debate. I am personally replying to the most intense comments in the next couple of hours. If you want to stay ahead of the curve and get instant breaking updates on this story, the second part 2 leaks, or Floyd's legal team issues a response, you need to hit that like button right now, subscribe to the channel, and smash that notification bell. We have emergency sources working around the clock in Las Vegas and Miami gathering exclusive, insider information on this war, and you do not want to miss the urgent emergency update video dropping on this channel very soon. The drama is escalating out of control, the stakes have never been higher, and things are about to get infinitely messier. Hit that subscribe button now, stay locked in, and I will see you all in the very next explosive update.